Hey, all, Rick here from Hamilton Sports Central, and we have not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 live streams to go through today. So we're going to start with the Toronto and Sask game from last night because I haven't watched the game yet, so I don't know what the score is or anything. Because I was doing 3 games yesterday. From there, at 1 o'clock, we'll have the Guelph and Laurier game from yesterday. Then at 4, we'll have the Carleton and York game from yesterday. At 7, we'll have the Queens and Toronto game from today. So that's the last OUA game. Then at 10 o'clock tonight, we will have the BC Ottawa game that was supposed to be at 7 o'clock this evening. But because we're doing the Queens game, we're going to do the BC game. Then tomorrow, I'm going to have my rankings for the OUA weekend, week 1. And I'm also going to list my all-star team and how each player did for week 1 for OUA. Or actually, I'm going to rank. I'm not going to do an all-star team. I'm going to rank the top players per position for week 1. Do it that way. It's more easier. But before we do that, let's get started with today's game. As it's on CFL Plus, so I can skip through all of the commercials. So this is the second game of the doubleheader yesterday. Here we go. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
The Toronto Argonauts in their offense have gone as far as Chad Kelly can throw them. Yes, his 15 interceptions are concerning, but here's a stat for you. He's never lost. He's 4-0 against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And Trevor Harris is having what many are arguing is a career season in his 40s, and his best display was a 409-yard performance in Week 4 against the Toronto Argonauts in a 40-34 loss. The Saskatchewan Roughriders need a win because it's getting really competitive in the West. Come watch the second half of our CFL doubleheader with us, Canada. Matthew Schnetti alongside Enoch Mwamba, David Sanchez, and Milt Stegall. We got to go quick, Milt. So when you take a look, especially after what just happened, the Calgary Stampeders beating the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who is...
Yeah, we won't talk about that game.
Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saskatchewan. That's the easy one. I mean, it's big for both teams. Don't get me wrong. Every time you step on the field, you need to win your game. But for Toronto, if they lose, what happens? They're still in second place. Yeah. Let's be honest. They're not going to catch Montreal or West. These Saskatchewan Roughriders are vying for the top spot in the West. But if they lose this game, they're dropping back, nice little distance from Edmonton. So it's definitely Saskatchewan. Yeah, and 3 straight home games for this team in the tight West. I'm with you. It's a really important game for Sass, looking at how tight that West is, the fact they have a chance here with 3 home games. Yeah, and I look at the guys the teams that are behind them, definitely the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but you look at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and Lions, they look like they're figuring things out. I know Winnipeg, we saw them last night. They won that game. They blew a 16-point lead the week before, but you look at that offense, they look like they're in rhythm now. And so the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are coming around. The Lions have 4 straight right now. They have to win. The Saskatchewan Roughriders, 100%, this is a bigger game for them. Yeah, for the Roughriders, next man up, that's going to be challenged. Lots of injuries for the Riders. I mean, they got an all-star team on their 6-game injuries. They got multiple all-stars on both sides of the ball. So
okay, so let's just start the game already.
This is the one thing when we talk about...
Right here, listen to... We're here to start the game.
This evening, look to right the ship.
Right.
Showdown with the visiting
Mosaic Stadium, Argos at the Riders. Marshall Ferguson and Dwayne Ford.
This
evening. It is beautiful. It's a great night for the pass catchers to go and make some plays, and we got a couple of great ones.
Yeah, we absolutely do. Both these teams obviously love their area.
And Samar Bridges is going to be making his debut. That's going to be interesting.
Comes into this week ranked number 4 in the Canadian Football League in receiving yards, number 2 in terms of total targets this season, and of course for the Toronto Argonauts, their top receiver, Chad Kelly's go-to guy, Demonte Coatsy, one of the most dominant big play threats in the Canadian Football League.
Mike Miller sitting at 500 in his first go around as a head coach.
Mike Miller 5-5 this season, 3-5 on the road. Corey Mace is 27-18-1 for his career, 3-2 against Toronto.
The defending Grey Cup champions are here at home. We got a big crowd. We got 31 degrees, just a little bit of a breeze as well, up to about 15 kilometers per hour. And you know the Obsidian jerseys are out, Dwayne, which is going to make it fun for us here throughout the evening. But it is a great matchup. Janarian Grant back to return as the ball is on the tee. Saskatchewan won the coin toss, deferred, and Toronto will receive to get things going. Their second trip to Regina. A strange year for the Argonauts, but they won the first matchup. See if they can double down here once again in Saskatchewan. We are underway. Turning it back across the 40.
Hale kicks it off at 53 yards to the Toronto 27. Herschel returns it for 17 yards to the Toronto 44.
Offensive side of the ball has sort of been this live by the sword, die by the sword team. They love to try and push the ball down the field. That is Chad Kelly's style. It's come with big yardage, but also that risk of turning over the football. A CFL league high 15 interceptions so far this season.
Kelly makes some fantastic throws back here in week 4 on this field. If he gets it underneath, and it is hauled in by Isaiah Smith.
Chad Kelly throws to Isaiah Smith for 1 yard to the Toronto 45. So it's 2nd and 9.
That offensive line, yet another right tackle. Roughrider makes his first career CFL start at that position with Brandon Kemp joining Kendall Randolph on the injured list in the backfield. Pleasant surprise for the Argos in the first half of this season has been second-round pick Isaiah Smith out of the University of Guelph. Career high 91 yards for him rushing last week against Hamilton.
Stay in this time in pass protection. Kelly has all day to throw and finds Demonte Coatsy on the outside right at the first down stick.
Kelly passes to Coxey for 10 yards to the Toronto 55. Sales with the tackle.
Kelly gets good protection, time to operate. Time for Demonte Coatsy to set up that comeback route along the sideline. Push the defender deep. They're going to respect his deep speed, great jump ball receiver.
That's the Daniel Johnson route. He's the only one who's allowed to hang by the sideline like that. As Kelly pulls and throws, Dave Unger spinning away. Has another
Kelly passes to David Unger the third
backpedaling a little bit here early on.
for 10 yards to Saskatchewan 45. Lacombo with the tackle.
Caleb Sanders on the inside, one of the most underrated players in the Canadian Football League. Watch for him getting some push in that pass rush. Josh Wood's terrific acquisition for the Saskatchewan Roughriders over the offseason as they moved on from the BC Lions. Jonathan Edward, former Toronto Argonaut, starting at the boundary half. 2 nationals for Saskatchewan.
Kelly loads it up down the sideline, and it's caught inside the 10.
Kelly passes to David Unger the third for 39 yards to the 6. Fields with the tackle. It's going to be a first down, Argonauts.
Got the completion.
You see Dave Unger starts off out wide, just clearly a little bit of communication as the halfback DeMarcus Fields is going to be late getting over. Kind of hung on the inside route. A little bit long, perfectly placed throw from Chad Kelly to hit Unger in stride, send the Argos up. And the Saskatchewan 6-yard line.
Joshua Bell told us this week, the defensive coordinator for the Riders, that the field half and their defense has never talked about it unless they get attacked. Well, they did there. Now inside is Tyler Common.
Kelly throws a touchdown to Tyler Common to make it 6-0.
Sending a message here in their second game at Mosaic.
Yeah, terrific start for the Toronto Argonauts here on the road. In attack mode right out of the gate, Tyler Common Just hitting that quick slant. And outreaching Jonathan Edward for the football.
All it took was 5 plays, 66 yards in less than 3 minutes of play. It's the extra point. Lidster, the Windsor Lancers, is up and good. And the Toronto Argonauts.
Yes, Lidster was the Windsor Lancers kicker, and Windsor lost to Mac last night. If you want to go watch how that ended, go check out our watch along for last night.
Touchdown pass of the season for Chad Kelly. His career high was an MLB year 2023. He had 23 on the entire season. He's almost hit it before Labor Day.
Unreal.
He should hit it here tonight, you'd have to think. Got a little Dolly Parton playing here in Mosaic.
Can't go wrong with 9 to 5.
Never.
You ever see the Super Dave Osborne version?
Down at the 5, James Letcher Jr. handles the return responsibilities now for the Green Riders. As down that sideline he goes, and Trevor Harris immediately with some energy here.
Lidster kicks off for 75 yards to Saskatchewan 5. Letcher Jr. returns at 43 yards to Saskatchewan 48. Slawicka with the tackle.
After 2 consecutive losses.
43-yard return from James Letcher Jr. And Trevor Harris continues to excel controlling this offense. But as we said off the top, strange situation to be coming off back-to-back losses here. Hamilton and BC for Saskatchewan. They come home looking to prove a point against Toronto. Already down early. This will go to the new addition. And it includes that man, Shamar Bridges.
Harris passes incomplete to Shamar Bridges, so it's going to be 2nd and 10.
Take a look at the offense. Of course, the O-line anchored by one of the league's top linemen, right tackle Jermarcus Hardrick. And the man you just mentioned, Shamar Bridges, former East Division Rookie of the Year with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Released by the Cats this week, very quickly snapped up by a Rider team that's been battling some injuries in their receiver room.
Harris facing 2nd and 10. Pressure on, gets it away, and up for grabs, incomplete. Tavares McFadden supplying the coverage.
Harris throws incomplete to Keyshawn Johnson. Nice quick 2 and out. So it's going to be 3rd and 10 for the Riders.
Johnson essentially swap roles with the ball in the air. Johnson doing a pretty good job to fight back and ensure that McFadden can't get a hand on it.
5 of the 10 Riders games this year, by the way, Keyshawn Johnson has had double-digit targets.
5 of 10, dang.
Asked him if he was tired.
Yeah, but Keyshawn Johnson's worth the money, though.
So that he can handle the workload. He's certainly done that this year, battling through those receiver injuries that you speak of, but can't hang on there, which means Toronto gets possession. Dave Unger trying to reverse field, and he's got a wall. Did he get a block from Derek Sluker, who's out in front? At the 20, he could cut it back the other direction again. And Dave Unger.
Chapman punts 44 yards to the Toronto 18. Unger, the third, returns for 17 yards to the Toronto 35. Jubenda with the tackle. Guess what? You're skipping commercials. That's what I like about CFL Plus. You can skip commercials. Kelly passes Conman for 15 yards to the Toronto 50. Woods with the tackle. It's going to be a first down. Argonauts.
Yeah, certainly does. You see the numbers for Chad Kelly in that ball game, over 300 yards in the air, using his legs a little bit, spread the ball around the field. And we're up to a big victory in the early going.
That's Steve Daniel of the CFL Stats Department, who checked on interdivisional play, so there's no record of an East team playing 2 regular season games in the same West Stadium as this one. Knocked away, intended for Jake Herslow. Tremendous play.
Kelly passes to Herslow, broken up by Burgess, so it's 2nd and 10.
There's been some ongoing shuffling of the deck on the back end in the back end. They've just had to shuffle where they are with Jackson Ford, usually the free safety out of the lineup. Jonathan Edward comes in at halfback.
And Kelly throws an interception. Kelly's pass intercepted by Burgess at the Saskatchewan 46. He returns it for 27 yards to the Toronto 37. Bland with the tackle. That's interception number 16 for Kelly.
Coming up with the interception, you're going to see him lined up out on the corner. And he's with Jake Hurslow. You'll see as the play starts. When Hurslow breaks in, he's going to let him go. He's looking at a possible switch of routes. But as things continue to unfold, he anticipates what's going on and gets a great jump to come in front of the intended target. Bernard come up with the INT. Burgess in the lineup again as part of that insurance situation in the secondary. Bears hands it off. Smashing in between the tackles is Conley as we see Toronto's starting defense that will...
Conley rushes for 6-yard gain to the Toronto 31. Tubner with the tackle.
One of the great under-the-radar, unheralded free agent signings I felt of this past offseason. Cameron Judge out of the lineup at the will linebacker spot. The American Alex Tubner, rookie, makes the start there. Keep an eye on the boundary halfback, James Caesar, first-year player for the Toronto Argonauts, who's been enjoying some success in their secondary.
Tommy Stevens into the ball game here for the power run. Look, it puts his shoulder down. Bubba Bolden ready to respond. Not afraid of anything.
Tommy Stevens rushes for 1 yard to the Toronto 30, so it's going to be 3rd and 3.
Being a physical presence on the back end from that safety spot for the Toronto Argonauts. We saw Tommy Stevens never one to shy away from a collision himself. So those two meet head to head. Good blow there delivered by Bolden.
Well, I know it's hammer meeting nail, but I don't know which is which. Harris back on the turf here.
Oh, they're going for it on 3rd down. And turnover on downs. Turnover on downs. See, I would have gone for the 3 points. Interesting that they went for 3. The thing is, though, even the 2 games I watched yesterday for OUA, going on 3rd down is just atrocious for teams. Yesterday.
Suggesting there should have been a penalty, but I thought pretty good timing when you look at that at full speed from Deshaun Amos.
2 targets, no catches.
So now Toronto's offense is back on the field. Chad Kelly throws incomplete to DeMonte Coxie. So it's 2nd and 10.
Times where Chad Kelly takes some chances with the football, but you don't feel like he's just throwing up hopes and prayers. Like, he is very intentional in where he's putting it. This one felt a little bit like, yeah, I'm throwing up a jump ball. Now, that said, the calculated part of it is he knew which receiver was running that route, and your odds aren't bad with 86.
Kelly sad, giving the pressure on the interior defensive line for Saskatchewan. Send just a 3-man rush here as Kelly looks to screen it out. Sweeps underneath Isaiah Smith, and he gets the first down.
Kelly passes to Isaiah Smith for 11 yards to the Toronto 41. Sad with the tackle.
More on that as we go throughout the afternoon, but this was smooth. Yeah, well, you see the 3-man rush coming a lot of time. You're kind of hoping that when you've got a screen on that they're going to send a little bit more heat, right? More defenders upfield.
It goes quickly over the middle. Can it be tall? Hangs onto it.
Kelly passes to Mittal for 7 yards to the Toronto 46. The combo with the tackle.
The idea of the screen is that you're going to get a lot of pressure, a lot of guys coming upfield, that you have fewer people to beat after you make the catch. In this instance, dropping off 9, but Isaiah Smith gets the job done to help that offensive line and that leading the way for him.
Solid execution in the first quarter. The Argos continues. Pressure coming. Kelly stands in. Vitale running down the seam. Dropped it in. And just off the hands.
Kelly throws incomplete to Vitale, so it's going to be 3rd and 3 at the Toronto 48.
But I love the play call and love this concept within the Toronto Argonauts offense. Quite simply, trying to get Kevin Vitale involved more in their vertical passing game. He's a guy who had over 100 receptions last year, and so many of them so close to the line of scrimmage, whether it's shovel passes, screens, etc. But you want to take advantage of his full right tree, a very versatile receiver.
Burnett punts 42 yards to the Saskatchewan 20. Letcher Jr. returns for 15 yards to the Saskatchewan 35. Isaiah Smith with the tackle.
Missed opportunity for Mike Miller's Toronto Argonauts. Chad Kelly salivating, seeing man coverage here in the middle of the field.
For Roughriders, and you know why? Because his first CFL touchdown was against.
Other than the Hamilton Tiger Cats, this actually his first dress of 2026 after signing with the team this week. With more, here's Brick Dorp. Other than the Hamilton Tiger Cats, this actually his. It feels strange to see Shamar Bridges wearing colors other than the Hamilton Tiger Cats. This actually his first dress of 2026 after signing with the team this week. With more, here's Brick Dorp.
Yeah, thanks so much, Marshall. And you could say it's a full circle moment for Shamar Bridges, and you know why? Because his first CFL touchdown was against the Roughriders in Hamilton. Well, guess where his second CFL touchdown was? Here in Saskatchewan at Mosaic Stadium. So he said this week when he signed with the Riders, he told his mom, well, this is one of my favorite places to play. So now he's just on the other side of the ball. You mentioned the fact that he was just signed this week. He's already listed as a starter. You guys talked about those injuries on offense right now. Seb Emelis on the 6 game once again. Johnny Johnson on the 1 game. Harris said this week when he was asked about him starting potentially, he said, not a chance right away. That was my thought. And then he said as soon as he got to know him, he thought, yeah, he will work in our offense right away. And Shamar said, you know, the reason I'm able to pick up offenses so fast is because of those years I spent in Hamilton.
Learning and adapting. Thank you. Great as they'll hand it off inside this time.
Connolly rushes for 1 yard to the Saskatchewan 36. And Darius Pickett with the tackle.
Catches, almost 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns. And the production obviously dropped way off because Kenny Lawler arrived and the roles changed. And all of a sudden, Keandre Smith is getting more touches, Dwayne. But one of those guys you feel like in the right situation, that's a 1,000-yard receiver.
Well, the situation is exactly the word that was running through my mind, Marshall, is every sport, success in sports really is situation-based. And I think it's true in football more than any other. The opportunity you get, how you're being used, the system you're in, you know, how the coaches value your skill set.
Harris passes to Duncan Busby for 34 yards to the Toronto 40. Bolden with the tackle. It's going to be a first down Riders.
I see Duncan Busby, one of those guys getting an opportunity to play a little bit more here in his 3rd year in the Canadian Football League. Nice route as he kind of pulls the safety to the outside with a fake and then wraps into that open space in the middle. Nice timing, quick tuck of the football, getting it upfield. Well-executed play there from Del Duncan Busby.
Goes for a gain of 34 yards, 20 of them through the air, another 14 after the catch. Harris leads on the ground attack once again. This time, wheels turning downhill.
Conley rushes for 13 yards to the Toronto 27. Tubner with the tackle. First down.
Saskatchewan offensive line here. A couple down blocks for Marcus Hardrick. Getting up to second level on Derek Sluka. Swallows him up. Good read by Conley to bounce that to the outside.
Harris takes the run.
Harris passes to Weeb for 16 yards to the Toronto 11. Tubner with the tackle.
Obviously, you hate to see injuries be a factor, but I love seeing Daniel Weeb out of the University of Saskatchewan get an opportunity here with the Riders. 69th overall pick in the 2025 draft. Came to camp last year. Went back, completed his last season with the Huskies. A Heck Creighton finalist representing Canada West. Now getting an opportunity to shine. The next level.
Fourth catch of the season for Daniel Weeb as Harris looks back to the end zone at Mosaic.
Harris throws incomplete to Keyshawn Johnson. So it's going to be 2nd and 10 at the Toronto 11.
Yeah, looks like that one sailed a little bit on Trevor Harris. Would have been tough to bring down in bounds.
The rare miss from Trevor Harris as well inside the score zone leads the CFL in completion percentage, as you would expect, this season, 74.4%. When Saskatchewan is inside the 20-yard line. CV takes to the prairie skies here on 2nd and 10. Hits that back foot and launches to Argonauts.
And Harris throws to Duncan Busby for 11-yard touchdown. So we have a touchdown for the Riders.
I love this shot from Trevor Harris, and obviously, sign of a veteran guy is you'll see Duncan Busby working from the slot. Put a stem to the outside, take it north-south. Sluka just trying to recover after that outbreak. But Trevor Harris has one that sails off target. Veteran guy says, yeah, whatever. Delivers an absolute strike.
Ties the game.
For the touchdown on the next play.
In rhythm, on time, on target. It's the
6 plays, 75 yards, 3 minutes, and 39 seconds.
former third-round picks back in 2024, equaling Keen Schaefer Baker's touchdown mark this year due to injuries. But you can see how Duncan Busby's stepping up into a larger role because the team absolutely needs him to.
Take a look at the drive executed by Trevor of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Bring it down the middle to Duncan Busby. Eats up a chunk of yardage. Good hard run there from Paulie Conley. Quick strike to Daniel Weeb. He makes one miss. And then Duncan Busby, the guy who got it started, finishes it off with a slick over-the-shoulder grab in the end zone.
Trevor Harris fired up, getting into the end zone. Was Saskatchewan a little two-step maybe around the end zone? Why not? That receiving group has gone through just so much attrition this season. As Harris, the leader.
Duncan Busby has 2 catches for 45 yards. Longest is 34 and a touchdown already.
Great contrast of styles as well. The freewheeling gunslinging of Chad Kelly and the expert.
Hale kicks off 67 yards to the Toronto 13. Herschel returns it for 22 yards to the Toronto 35. Straker with the tackle.
Jake Hirsch, though. Silver Television's best on a night that's always full of surprises as Mariska Hegarty hosts the Emmys live Monday, September 14th on CTV and Crave. Malik Straker working on special teams. Undersized backup Sam linebacker, but look at that build, Dwayne. That's a special team body right there.
There's no question. This young man was coming through the draft.
Right in the middle of the pile here, the Argonauts ground attack going nowhere.
Isaiah Smith rushes for 3 yards to the Toronto 38. Thurman with the tackle.
Get a ton of love, doesn't get all the hype and the interceptions and the quarterback sacks, but you can't have a CFL team without dudes running down on teams like that.
That's it, doing the dirty work. The Saskatchewan Roughriders have done a nice job putting those units together, particularly some of the young Canadians. Straker, 32nd overall pick, a 4th rounder in 2024.
Into it here against the Argos, and Kelly rolls to his right, just has to fire this one away on 2nd and 8.
Kelly throws incomplete to David Unger, so that makes it 3rd and 8. 12 seconds left in the first quarter. Tied 7-7.
For Chad Kelly, you're going to see it come from the blitz come from that linebacking core. 5 on the line of scrimmage, bring a 6th. Middle linebacker Jameer Thurman, only 5 in to protect. Got to get rid of the football.
8-year vet Thurman giving chase, forcing Chad Kelly to live for another down as James Letcher Jr. catches it at his 15. 59-yard punt.
Burnett punts 58 yards to Saskatchewan 14. Letcher Jr. returns it for 11 yards to Saskatchewan 25. McKenzie with the tackle.
But it's the quarterbacks that are playing main characters here tonight. Trevor Harris up against
Okay, commercial. Let's give it a skip.
to push back, but really it just came down to Trevor Harris and the accuracy that we know he always has, and getting the football out extremely quickly, which is something he always takes pride in, especially against a team like this. The defense are very quick that he knows so well.
Yeah, and I know you've been looking at those numbers a little bit, that fascination with the quarterback play and some of the intricacies of it, but certainly for Trevor Harris, that's been his calling card, particularly as his career has progressed, is that quick processing and accurate delivery.
2.15 seconds time to throw, first in the CFL as it stands right now. Second, by the way, was Bo Levi Mitchell before his unfortunate injury at 2.4 seconds. So even to second, it's a huge gap. Trevor Harris is playing a totally different game than most other quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League when it comes to pre-snap and quick throws. They'll decide to hand it off this time downhill. Powerful run as we see Trevor Harris with the completion percentage when he is under pressure. Obviously a well-rounded veteran quarterback that understands sometimes you just got to stand in and find a way to complete it.
Well, one of the things I love is you look at
Colony rushes for 7 yards to Saskatchewan 32. Benji Franklin with the tackle.
because it used to be the knock on Trevor Harris, and he was always a high completion guy, but his completion percentage plummeted relative to other quarterbacks under pressure. Well, now he's completely turned that around, and he thrives top of the league in that department.
Mental toughness, understanding, all things that had to grow and evolve. Even when he was a proficient passer early on in his career, looks to throw here, works through the progression, and Duncan Busby.
Harris passes incomplete to Duncan Busby, so it's
You see a little bit of heat
3rd and
here as
3.
Trevor Harris looks to deliver it on the underneath.
Oh, I gotta change this.
Busby,
Change this to the second quarter.
not sure if he might have taken his eyes off that one a little bit.
Since we didn't watch this game yesterday.
One that got away.
3rd and 3 from the Saskatchewan 32. Chapman's going to come on and punt the ball.
Set to punt it away. High, booming kick. This is a monster punt as well. Plenty of hang time as it goes to Dave Unger. The reverses to Denarian Grant. 53 yards.
Chapman punts 54 yards to Toronto 24. Unger returns it for 0 yards. Laterals to Grant for 9-yard gain to Toronto 33. Straker with the tackle, and also Straker's the injured rider on the play.
Denarian Grant had a punt return touchdown against Saskatchewan here back in week number 4. And a little bit of, always love a little reverse in the punt return game. Mixing it up, just making the coverage team slow down, but Lee Straker right there once again to escort him out of bounds.
Yeah, you got guys starting to break down. Misdirection can be a challenge for them, but the other side, obviously, for the Toronto Argonauts, taking nothing away from Dave Unger, but Denarian Grant, one of the great return men in Canadian Football League history. You don't want to let Saskatchewan constantly benefit from kicking the ball away from them.
And part of an elite club, as well as we see the 10,000-yard club when combined yardage all totaled in. Yeah, he doesn't get a lot of love, obviously, offensively, but just consistently year over year over year, finding ways to contribute in the return game. And Toronto has certainly benefited from it since he's been with the Double Blue.
Yeah, great acquisition, a guy who started his career with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Javon Leake had been a star in the return game for the Toronto Argonauts. He moves to Edmonton. Argos locked into a pretty good replacement right there.
Mickey Donovan very happy to have number 3 as his returner. You can see why game over game as they go over the film on that return play. Right there alongside John as well.
Toronto's offense is back on the field. And Chad Kelly gets sacked for 7 yards to the Toronto 6. Sanders with the tackle, or with the sack.
A great push there from the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Keep an eye coming from the right side of your screen. The veteran James Waters. Good bull rush to drive the tackle. Desmond Bland. Back and then duck underneath. Taking away Kelly's opportunity to try and step up to escape.
Waters leading Saskatchewan with 5 sacks coming into Week 13 action. Kelly, max protection. He's going to need all of it in order to get this football away, and then throws it to the heavens as DeMonte Coxey is down there on the circus catch.
Kelly passes Coxey for 58 yards to Saskatchewan 26. Edward with the tackle. It's going to be first down. Argos.
It is what's known as a calculated risk. A little different in the pass rush that time. Waters went to the outside. Kelly able to step up and in. To escape. Air it out downfield. And as we've seen so many times, Coxey over the top.
Kelly slanted sidearm this time, complete.
Kelly passes Coxey again for 16 yards to Saskatchewan 10. Marcus Sales with the tackle. It's going to be a first down, Argos.
Is he somewhere down there? Sure.
Yeah, you've got a receiver who has a knack for making plays on balls like this. There he is, going over top of the defender to bring it in.
Easy catch. He almost got away, trying to spin backwards away from Nelson Lacombo, who came down from free safety. Missed the last 3, playing over at field corner, but now back at his home at free safety.
Yeah, nice blitz pickup here from the running back, Isaiah Smith. In that backfield.
Kelly throws to Herschel for 7 yards to Saskatchewan 3. Lacombo with the tackle.
Before he gets on your quarterback's toes. That gives Chad Kelly an opportunity to deliver that one to Jake Herschel.
2nd and 2. From the 3. Kelly keeps it into the end zone. Touchdown. And the Argonauts answer once again. Jack Cassar.
Kelly passes to Jack Cassar for 3 yards to the Toronto Riders end zone for a touchdown.
The Canadian Football League. Converted linebacker, former star at Carleton University, moves to fullback this year. Left side of your screen. I can tell you from experience, sometimes when you're a fullback who is primarily used as a blocker, people don't account for you in their coverages. And as a result, Jack Cassar ends up wide open to make the grab.
And look how happy the sideline is for him. Nick Arbuckle right there to welcome him back. Tucker Horn as well. 5 plays, 77 yards. And I think they were trying to get the football. Dave Unger III was for Jack Cassar with his first touchdown.
Toronto number 83. 10 yards will be applied on the try.
It looked like he was arguing with the ball boy. Mike Miller having a word saying, we don't need any of that. We'll get it for him. Don't worry about it. We have ways to get the football.
Yes.
You don't have to go take it.
Too many men for Toronto. David Unger.
Be a good teammate.
Yeah, collect the souvenir.
Paul Lapalisse was saying in the early game today that when Love had his first touchdown pass in the CFL, they'll do a nicer job than just putting tape and some marker on the football. Don't worry. Oh, this one goes.
And he missed that extra point.
The reliable Argonauts kicking game under Brady Lidster takes a hit there, so tuck that one away into the back pocket. And what looks like it could be a close one.
10:27 left in the second quarter.
Little touchdown, little dance here at Mosaic.
As we skip forward. Oh.
Release another route in the flat that's also going to help pull the coverage down. Make sure he's got lots of space and time to make the catch with no duress.
Get disrespected again. I got a feeling that maybe Toronto, as a flag comes out at the end of the return, they might have seen the big man catch last week by Saskatchewan. Said, let's get our guy a little bit of level. How about getting Keyshawn Johnson some touchdown in 6 of the 10 Saskatchewan games so far this year?
Letster kicks off for 70 yards to Saskatchewan 10. Letcher Jr. returns it for 30 yards to Saskatchewan 40. Gazar with the tackle, but there's a penalty on Saskatchewan holding for 10 yards. They go from the 25 back to the 15. As we skip ahead.
No game with 2 touchdowns. You see the progression that he has been on and certainly trending in the right direction.
Yeah, no question. One of those guys who came in and was a quick study in the world of the Canadian Football League. Again, having spent some time in the National Football League and understanding of the passing game, offenses, time and space has allowed him to excel.
3 targets, no catches so far. Johnson is dealing with a attack. Saskatchewan.
Conley rushes for 12 yards to the Saskatchewan 27. Amos with the tackle. It's going to be a first down, Argos.
Keyshawn Johnson just doing what he does. High workload, over 100 yards in that ball game. Bit of an offensive showcase all the way around, but guy who just does it all. Such a consistent performer in this Saskatchewan offense, very reliable.
First 6 to snap, goes back to the running game. It was interesting talking to Keyshawn this week, where he was talking about the difference between 2025 with Grey Cup champions and this year. He said the energy in practice is the exact same. They still believe, they still just have to figure
Conley rushes for 4 yards to Saskatchewan 31. Toa Iola with the tackle. So it's 2nd and 5 from the Saskatchewan 31. 8:59 left in the second quarter. Toronto leads 13-7. Harris gets sacked for 6 yards to the Saskatchewan 25 by Sean Lemon.
He can't be stopped.
Sean Lemon, like fine wine, coming from the top of the line here. Nice twist there, sets up the guard, Jacob Bramer, and just looked like he caught him a little bit off guard, quite frankly. Good job.
Chapman's coming on the punt for Saskatchewan.
He enjoys when they get a sack because it means something went right in all 3 levels of their defense. You can't do it with just a pass rush. Just once again, they go to the reverse engineering bridge from 3 big hit. Oscar
Chapman punts 49 yards to the Toronto 36. Unger returns it for 0 yards. Laterals to Grant for 19. But there's a penalty on Saskatchewan. Illegal downfield on the kick is declined. So it's going to be Toronto's ball as we skip through these commercials.
So he took his talents to the CJFL, the Hamilton Hurricanes, where he broke his wrist in the very first game. And because of the shortened season, it was about a year until he suited up again and finally went to the University of Guelph, where he ended up tearing his ACL that year. It wasn't until his final years of university football that he was able to actually kind of show off what he could do out there. Eventually led to him being that 2nd-round draft pick for the Argos this year.
Jones rushes for a 2-yard loss to the Toronto 53. Woods with the tackle.
Go over to one of those schools that might not have the strongest in high school football program, so you had to just
2nd and 12.
Yeah, I mean, he went to Aldershot Secondary School in Burlington. And I had to check. I knew someone I was close to went to Aldershot. I texted my good friend, former Calgary Stampeder roommate Bob McDonald. I said, "Did you go to Aldershot?" He said, "No, Schultz did." Our guy Chris Schultz. Yeah, sharing that with Isaiah Smith.
Such a great discussion with Smith this week as they'll go underneath him. Metal dancing backwards and the Saskatchewan defense.
Kelly passes to Metal for 6 yards to the Saskatchewan 51. Olad Ipayo with the tackle.
Argos pressing, looking to get into scoring range. But Saskatchewan winning first down, forcing a second and long situation. Able to come up there and make the tackle, holding the Argos short.
Also saw Braylon Jones get the carry on first down, so there will be Smith the lead back here this evening, but spelling him with the newcomer, the big body.
Burnett punts 49 yards to Saskatchewan 2. Letcher returns it for 5 yards to Saskatchewan 7. So it's 1st and 10 at Sask 7 with 6:21 left in the second quarter.
The next Cup champion will be crowned tomorrow as the Tour Championship concludes with the final round at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Pacific. Watch live on TSN, CTV, and Crave. It just digs right in like a soft fairway after a late summer rain.
This is it. Perfect placement.
It's interesting that we're already at halftime already. We still have a second half.
Bounce. Special teams coordinator Mickey Donovan enjoying the moment.
James Burnham acquired via trade from the Ottawa Redblacks when they decided to go with Noah Getton earlier this year. Franklin was trying to get a piece.
Harris passed to Weeb for 16 yards to Saskatchewan 23. Bobba Bolden with the tackle, so it's going to be a first down Sask at their 23-yard line.
Straight arm and escape is just the big thing you want when you take over the football in this kind of field position. Get a couple of first downs, move the sticks, get some breathing room. If you're able to put together a drive, that's a bonus. But you're just trying to get some field position back as your first priority.
Daniel Weeb, 2 catches for 32 yards so far in the second quarter. Harris pass to Connolly is incomplete. 2nd and 10 at the Saskatchewan 23-yard line.
Offensive coordinator Mark Mueller can dial up here for his quarterback Trevor Harris.
See the annoyance on Trevor Harris's face? That's because he's 4 of 10. For a guy who's like one of historically the highest completion percentages ever, he would trade a lot of things to have a high completion percentage.
Very un-Trevor territory. You know, and Cody Fajardo constantly breathing down his neck.
The all-time completion percentage mark. See if he finds the mark here, works the pocket, and flips it.
Ooh.
Reggie Franklin had the best chance at it. Shamar Bridges.
Harris pass incomplete to Bridges. Broken up by Benji Franklin, who almost had an interception. So Chapman's coming on to punt the ball away.
Franklin is essentially racing Shamar Bridges to the football and kind of gets inside position. Bridges suggesting that he came through him to get to that position.
Corey Mays going for a wander down his sideline, red flag in hand. And he won't challenge it. Trevor Harris, 36%, and now Saskatchewan has a punt off the side of Oscar Chapman's foot. Dave Unger.
Chapman punts for 40 yards to Saskatchewan 47. Unger returns for 15 yards to Saskatchewan 48. Varga with the tackle.
Roughriders don't go their way in Toronto, set up for success.
Just taking a look back at that last offensive play where there was some debate as to whether there may have been pass interference on the outside. A little bit of hand fighting. But I think, honestly, more than anything, Shamar Bridges just lost his footing. Like, there's not a big shove. Didn't appear to be shoulder-to-shoulder contact there that led to the receiver going down.
Chad Kelly sacked for 7 yards to the Saskatchewan 55 again by Sounders.
We talked this week with Joshua Bell about the importance of Caleb Sanders to this defensive line, what he does, terrific pass rusher, just a quick swim there. And a veteran guy in Dakota Shepley. Sneaky quick. Sanders on that one.
Says he used to watch film and not understand any of the details, the pre-snap, the run pass tendencies, how the offensive line use their hands. I'd say he's figured it out. As Kelly rips this one into double coverage.
Kelly throws it to Hirschlow for 11 yards to the Saskatchewan 44. Fields with the tackle.
Complete confidence in his arm and in his receivers. Jake Hirschlow doing a nice job working back to the football to make a play on this one and get the Toronto Argonauts to within Brady Lidster's field goal range.
We have hit the 3-minute warning. It's third.
So it's 3rd and 6 at the Saskatchewan 44, but it's the 3-minute warning. So we're gonna skip. Lidster with a 51-yard field goal, and he gets it.
Hitting the upright on the extra point earlier on, and the confidence level raised here once again for the Windsor Lancers grad.
Brady Lidster, strong leg rookie, took over from Hiralahu after the loss to Hamilton. Hiralahu going to the injured list. Number 16 enjoying a pretty good year. I suspect that special teams coordinator Mickey Donovan got a decent review from his brother Pat Donovan, who of course is part of the coaching staff at the University of Windsor.
See Mickey working the sidelines there. Love that little moment as well with Mike Miller.
So Saskatchewan's going to take over at the 40. Connolly rushes for 8 yards to Saskatchewan 48. Dark Angelo with the tackle.
For an extra 2 or 3 yards.
And the Riders doing a pretty good job moving bodies at the line of scrimmage. Allowing Conley to get downhill. And they've struggled to run the ball a little bit the last couple of games, which have resulted in losses. Maybe contemplating bringing the guy in the green T-shirt out of retirement. Andrew Harris, one of the all-time greats.
Stevens in with the short yardage team for Saskatchewan. I feel like he needs intro music, like a closing pitcher. When you bring him off the sideline, even if it's in the middle of the game, like game day ops, has got to have something where it's like, oh, that's Tommy Stevens music.
Yeah, I don't know if the Roughriders necessarily want to draw any extra attention to.
Tommy Stevens rushes for 2 yards to Saskatchewan 50. Dark Angelo with the tackle.
That guy for the Riders this year, his second in green and white or green and black, as is the case today.
Couldn't get it on second, they'll go again on third. Stevens, right side of that Saskatchewan offensive line, creating the push he needed.
A game full of stars, but you need the role players, and Tommy Stevens embraces his.
Tommy Stevens rushes for 2 yards to Saskatchewan 52. Dark Angelo with the tackle. It's going to be a first down Riders.
And both of them, I think, relishing those confrontations.
I don't think that's the last of it either. Isaac Darkangelo made first contact as well. As Harris back on the field against the 5-man rush, gets it out quick as ever and on the money.
Harris passes Keyshawn Johnson for 12 yards to the Toronto 46. Amos with the tackle.
And you have to love just the understanding. We talked about time and space. And understanding when to throttle down, not run through zones, not run into danger, but coverage is off. Throttle it down here.
Harris again hits that back foot, ball comes out, stays on his feet. But that one did not feel great for Keyshawn Johnson as Benji Franklin came in.
Harris passes to Keyshawn Johnson for a 3-yard loss, and to the Toronto 49, Benji Franklin with the tackle, and Keyshawn Johnson is injured on the play.
Yeah, just didn't have a lot of time to prepare himself for contact there. He just got his head around.
Certainly beats the alternative of the old days. We're talking about receivers
going low.
Yeah, well, low or going as high and as hard as you possibly can.
No, completely clean, fair game hit from Benji Franklin. Delivering a pretty good pop.
Harris, deep drop, steps up in the pocket. Ralph Tully's got a hand on, but can't get any more. Tubner.
Harris rushes for 7 yards to the Toronto 42. Tubner with the tackle.
We love seeing the 40-year-old Trevor Harris keeping the defense honest.
He's not
using his legs a little bit. And this is something he talked about working on a couple off seasons ago, was just his quickness, his elusiveness, just recognizing there are situations where
Hale's out to go kick a field goal.
I say that because I think Trevor,
So it's going to be a 50-yard field goal attempt.
he wants to play a couple more years at the very least as Alex Hale. This is
And it's wide.
to his left, Janarian Grant, always dangerous. Will return to this field goal and pushed out of bounds. Oh, man.
Hale misses a 50-yard field goal recovered by Janarian Grant. Returns it for 25 yards to the Toronto 15. Johnson with the tackle.
With their lone points on the board. Dal Duncan Bisbee.
16-7. Minute 25 left in the second quarter.
He was the big body that's now running free on special teams. What can this guy do?
making catches, covering kicks. Be careful, big fella. They'll turn you into a gunner. You know, this goes against a long-established code for sixth offensive lineman in the Canadian Football League.
Steps up, fires to Herslow on the money at the 40.
Kelly passes to Hirschlow for 27 yards to the Toronto 42. Sales with the tackle. It's going to be a first down, Argos.
Good things are happening for the Double Blue here tonight.
Jake Herslow, a few games into his return, missed the first part of the season due to injury. A guy who started his career here in Saskatchewan before moving on to join the Toronto Argonauts. The beneficiary of that Chad Kelly escape and throw.
Kelly fits it in once again, tight window. Tyler Common.
Chad Kelly throws the common for 20 yards to Saskatchewan 48. Sales with the tackle. It's going to be another first down, Toronto.
Plenty of this we've seen from Ryan Dimbody's time. With the Argos and save with Mike Miller now.
I guess not.
They take the snap, and again, just settling down in between zones. Tyler Common, the Argonauts,
Okay.
well inside Lynch's field goal range with a minute 5 remaining.
Yes,
And now
we
they
can.
can go hunting for a touchdown.
A very effective tempo offense. Run
Chad Kelly passes common for 25 yards to Saskatchewan 23. Edward with the tackle. It's going to be a first down, Argos, with Woods as the injured
Ready to go.
rider on the field.
I'm not sure he's going to be called on for anything more than an extra point based on the way this drive is going.
Josh Woods down on the play. You see the Will linebacker number 2 goes down. It's a non-contact injury, and hate seeing him grabbing the back of that lower leg.
The concern right now for Josh Woods, who's been so good coming over from the BC Lions.
Came into this game third on the Riders in defensive tackles, starting at that Will linebacker spot for them. Missed the first part of last year due to injury and kind of spent the rest of the year getting back up to full speed. Terrific football player.
So it's 16-7 with 105 left in the second quarter, and it's
Another look.
first and 10.
He's right at the left edge of your screen. He's in pursuit.
Oh, he steps on Jameer Thurman as they were both trying to track down Tyler Common, it looks like. So just kind of an awkward play for that left leg and ankle.
Yeah. Wondering if it is as simple as an ankle roll there for Josh Woods. Hopefully nothing too serious.
There is Joshua Bell watching on.
Great chat with Joshua Bell this week, former BC Lion and Calgary Stampeder.
I think there's a misconception about Joshua Bell because of his playing days in the CFL as just being like, the wacky paint on face guy.
Yeah.
He is so much more.
Yeah, great energy. A guy who as a player obviously had the mind of a coach that he has gone in this direction, but talked about the forging with Corey Mace when they were teammates that has continued on as coaches. Great faith in one another.
And I love when we were talking with him this week about when did you get interested in sport? I did not think Mike Modano's name was going to come up in conversation with Joshua Bell. He's like, I love Punch Rodriguez, Nolan Ryan, Michael Johnson, Cale Devers. As Kelly feeds this one into the void of Saskatchewan's defense, still working that left hand.
Kelly passes Coxie for 13 yards to 110. Edouard with the tackle. It's going to be another first down. Argos. Kelly to Metal for 4 yards to Saskatchewan 6-yard line. 41 seconds left, second and goal. From the 6.
Mike Miller gets sent to call what feels like a very big play in this ball game.
Certainly don't want to waste this opportunity when you're the Toronto Argonauts.
Tyler Common with another touchdown for 6 yards.
Threading the needle, and it doesn't hurt when you have receivers who make the tough catches. That's Tyler Common in this instance. Chad Kelly puts his faith in Common, and he lays out.
Argonauts sideline fired up as they should be.
A block extra point. Sales is running it back. For 2 points. What do they classify that as?
The block comes from the interior of that defensive line.
2-point safety?
Fans always get excited and feel disappointed. And I right here.
All right.
Big hand on the football. Marcus Sales off to the races, but I think a lot of fans expect that that's going to be 6 points, and they're always a little disappointed when only 2 points go on the scoreboard, but it is essentially the defense getting the 2 points of a 2-point convert. Now you want to see 6. How about Tyler Common coming out of the slot? Wraps in behind the linebacker in front of the secondary. Tight window. Chad Kelly don't care.
I crawled under the desk here at Mosaic when we saw the replay. It's one of those throws that just makes you go, that's not possible. Coda Shepley, Ryan Hunter. And that offensive line, they know Chad Kelly can throw them sometimes out of any game, usually into any game. Touchdowns, Dwayne, already.
Roughriders salvage what could be a big 2 points with the block convert and the return from Marcus Sales.
295 yards already for Chad Kelly in this game as the former Argonaut Benoit Marion It's a rare return. Kelly tries to figure out how we can throw into a smaller window.
Yes. Yes. What are you going to do for an encore?
The arm
This
strength,
is-
never in question as the team's coordinator Mickey Donovan goes over the protection there that led to the 2 points going the other way for the Roughriders.
Well, you know, it speaks to the ongoing conversation. Well, what about the interceptions? Listen, take the bad with the good sometimes.
Harris underneath. We takes the grab, gets punished.
Lidster kicks off for 55 yards to the 25-yard line. Benoit Marion returns it for 11 yards to the Saskatchewan 36. Harris passes to Weave for 10 yards to the Saskatchewan 46. Pickett with the tackle. It's going to be a first down. Harris to Johnson for 17 yards to the Toronto 47. Pickett with the tackle again. Another first down.
The Toronto Argonauts march down the field. The very efficient drive to score a touchdown. The Saskatchewan Roughriders had great response. Their special teams immediately great return, put them in good position. Love this from the Saskatchewan Roughriders between the blocked extra point, getting them 2 points, and now
No time on the clock. They're going for a field goal to end the second quarter. Hale with the 55-yard field goal attempt. And Hale kicks a 55-yarder.
You gave up a late 6, you got 5 of them back. Fantastic in terms of response for Saskatchewan. Now down by a touchdown and a field goal as they go into the second half of this football game. I think they'll take it.
Saskatchewan Roughriders chipping away, finding solutions. As Alex Hill will be happy going to the locker room despite being frustrated by the miss earlier on, as we see Tyler commented. He has been special in this ball game so far.
Sask coming down by 10 in the half.
This is not a common catch.
You thought the first one was tough.
Go on to the very bottom.
The level of difficulty on that second one was high.
We head down to the field. Brent Dorton is standing alongside Tyler Conlon.
Tyler, in your 2 career games at Mosaic Stadium, you have a pair of touchdowns in each. What is it about yourself that you're able to silence this hostile crowd and make big plays?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun environment. Just trying to make the most, like, any opportunity I get. Right now, really, I'm just worried about winning the game, though.
You've talked about when you play with Chad Kelly at quarterback, you're always live. When you're watching those big plays from some of your teammates as well in the first half, you know, Coxie and Ungerer, what can you carry from this momentum into that second half as an offense?
Yeah, I think we got a little stale there in the second quarter, but hopefully in the second half we'll be a little more consistent. But yeah, Chad, I mean, he's the best quarterback in the league. Like,
Excellent throw.
Skip to the third quarter.
Kelly, after the game. That could be interesting.
I believe amazing French continues as the numbers between these two teams. It has been special to see throughout the start of this game how the passing attack for the Toronto Argonauts has been thriving. One man trying to put a stop to that is Marcus Sales. He's alongside our Brent Dorr.
Marcus, Chad Kelly has thrown for almost 300 yards in that first half. How do you try to limit him through the air?
Yeah, I mean, one, we got to limit those explosives. I mean, we know he likes throwing the ball up to his playmakers, and we just got to play better defense. We got to play a little bit tighter, and I feel like we'll have a better second half.
You had a big play toward the end of the first half there, blocking that extra point, taking it to the house. What was the message in the locker room when it comes to trying to make some more big plays in the second half here?
Yeah, I mean, that's our MO of our defense. You know, we like getting the ball, we like getting hits, and, you know, that just helped the swing of the game. That was almost like a 5-point swing. So, you know, offense will come out and score, and then we're just going to be right back in this game.
Thanks for your time, Marcus.
Thanks so much.
One of the veteran leaders in this Saskatchewan secondary.
Second half.
Energy up as this crowd has certainly brought it here tonight, but
Plus the third.
22-12 at half. And
Third quarter.
to be done. Thomas Bertrand Gold stands back, ready to potentially receive and do the best he possibly can for Trevor Harris and the Rough Rider offense, but plenty to be decided here. Will the Argonauts take both of their games in Saskatchewan in the regular season? Will the Rough Riders find a way to get back in the win called huge?
Lidster kicks off for 71 yards to Saskatchewan 9. Leiter Jr. returns for 29 yards to Saskatchewan 38. Bell with the tackle, and Tubner is the injured rider on the field.
Certainly making some plays early on in this football game. Nice drive that resulted in a Del Busby touchdown catch. But as you heard the panel talk about, just for a guy that we've seen so often in the zone. Really
Harris so far is 8 for 15, 113 yards and 1 touchdown.
so far for Trevor Harris.
Injured Toronto Argonaut down is Alex.
Oh, my bad. It's an Argo, not a rider.
Explosion of bodies at the up back position on this return. Don't see it very often. We had one big one earlier on this year in the Calgary Toronto game at BMO Field, but
Right side of the wall.
yeah,
You saw pretty good collision. Thomas Bertrand colliding. You saw Tubner take a pretty good jolt. Again, he's starting at the will linebacker spot in place of the injured Cameron Judge this week.
Ethan John was in the mix of that play as well. Draft pick this year is Toronto being forced to evolve on the fly like so many teams this time of year. And I think they're saying 3 plays where Tubner has to be off defensively. Here's a Greg Quick talking with Darius Pickett, Derek Sluka, Deshaun Amos. See what he wants to do with his defense. And Greg did tell us this week that the challenge of facing Trevor Harris, he almost called it tin cap. He was saying he's an old man. He won't be happy with that, but he said he looks far too much like me to be playing quarterback. But he did say that you have to throw a bunch of different looks at it because he's going to diagnose and understand whatever you're trying to disguise.
So 1st and 10 at the Saskatchewan 38. Conley rushes for 5 yards to the Saskatchewan 43. Bubba Bolden with the tackle.
Well, you heard the panel talk at halftime about the play of the Toronto defense and how they seem to have kind of found their place, found their groove, so to speak. Of late, they've been good against Trevor Harris. And you mentioned the arrivals of Bubba Bolden, Sean Lemon, 2 guys that had previous existing relationships with Greg Quick. That's why they're in Toronto and having a huge impact for the DC.
It's coming. Harris gets it away as expected. It looks shy of the stick.
Harris pass to Shamar Bridges for 5 yards to Saskatchewan 48. Gauthier with the tackle. So it's going to be 1st down, Riders.
Shamar Bridges lines up out wide on this one. Just working underneath. Curl, big body, shielding out the smaller defender of Louis-Philippe Gauthier. He'd go up and make that grab.
18 games played in 2025 for Shamar Bridges with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, but only 34 catches, 361 yards. And then cut from Hamilton, signing here in Saskatchewan is now a little double move, and then Harris comes back across the middle.
Harris passes to Keyshawn Johnson for 13 yards, and it's going to be a Bubba Bolden with the tackle. 1st down, Riders, and there's a penalty for Toronto for illegal contact, and it's declined.
With the outside receiver, Daniel Weed, but you see how he gets hung up on the defender here on that double move. So Trevor Harris recognizes
Receiver, Toronto number 23.
that's not going to be the opportunity. So Trevor goes elsewhere. Meanwhile, though that play on the outside gets called illegal contact against Benji Franklin, the corner who was jamming up Weeb out there.
Am I giving Trevor too much credit based on the fact that he pumped that way before the slant even happened? That it seemed like he was trying to open up the backside crossing?
That may be the case.
Benji Franklin, 34
The receiver and the punt.
tackles and 3 interceptions this year. Harris passes to Weeb for 16 yards to the Toronto 33. McFadden with the tackle. It's going to be a 1st down, Riders.
Interceptions. Florida State.
First and 10 at the Toronto 33.
Still a deep receiving core that they've been able to sustain the losses. Kean Schaefer, Baker, Sam Evans out of the lineup today.
There's to the outside. Timing throw. Working with Shamar Bridges, who doesn't have very many reps with. McFadden.
Harris to Bridges. Incomplete. Broken up by McFadden. Second and 10 at the Toronto 33.
Yeah, terrific athlete out there. So on this one, you just see the Riders trying to get that ball into the hands of Shamar Bridges. Yeah, happy to see Shamar Bridges, quite frankly, getting an opportunity to play a guy who, with a deep Hamilton receiving core, would sort of lost his spot there.
Harris gets Toronto to jump, and he'll take the shot. And almost dropped it in the bucket. Keyshawn Johnson.
Harris pass incomplete to Keyshawn Johnson, but Hawley is offside for Toronto, so it's a 5-yard penalty. Going from the 33 to the 28-yard line. No play.
Toronto number 99. 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
So 2nd and 5 for Saskatchewan.
Get another look of it here, right in the middle.
Yeah, you'll see that right side of the Argos defensive line. It looked like a little early.
Harris. Long play clock. Lots of time to operate here. And he gets it out quick, and that one almost up for grabs. This is 3 times on this drive alone.
Harris throws incomplete to Weeb, broken up by McFadden. So it's 3rd and 5 from the Saskatchewan or Toronto 28.
Willie Jefferson in the knockdown race all at once. You see Weeb outside just hanging out. Tavares McFadden kind of baiting Trevor Harris a little bit.
Tremendous grab by a member of the chain gang as well there. Playing the rebound as Alex Hale lines up after having a
Hale line comes out for a 36-yard field goal attempt.
at the end of the first half. This one 19 yards closer.
And he gets it. Nope. It's a field goal, not a touchdown.
Ready to see if he can extend the Argonauts lead here on the road.
It's time.
So it's 22-15 in the 3rd quarter for the Toronto Argonauts as Riders continue to cut down their lead.
Kelly got heard the halftime panel reflection. Dwayne Dunsteagle putting it pretty bluntly, just like Chad Kelly don't care. He's gonna put the football
Chad Kelly don't care.
whenever he wants it. That was a great discussion between him and Eda Davis about exactly the mindset of Chad Kelly. You see where they were coming from on this. It's just like just quicker.
Yeah, and indomitable confidence is part of the way he plays. It's what
Kelly 20 for 25, 2 touchdowns and an interception.
Last week was 74 receiving yards. He had 72.
Kelly passes to Common for 23 yards to Saskatchewan 47 Fields with the tackle.
That'll certainly help the yards pace.
and that yards pace, spreading the ball.
He just hangs onto it and then gets planted and nearly throws the interception. Kelly.
The combo and Award run into each other.
Like that from him, I think, ever in the CFL, just standing still for 2 seconds. And Kelly looks like he's in pain.
Kelly throws incomplete to Coxie, but
Part of the thing that we talk about, that confidence of Chad Kelly and that
because the
disregard for the
whatchamacallit, the athletic team comes out, Kelly has to come out for 3 plays.
doesn't have that when he can't move his feet. Two defenders close to him here. As you said, he's standing still, feet planted. And that's what floats this one into danger as he tries to get rid of it.
Obviously in discomfort on the, I mean, how could you not be taking a hit like that? Just as you say, Dwayne, not using his legs, standing still and vulnerable as all get out with his arm up in the air, just trying to find somewhere to send the football to.
We'll take another look at that one as Nick Arbuckle makes his way into the game, but good to see Chad Kelly jogging it off the field. Kind of lifted off the ground by Vaughters and Roberson as he's hitting.
Nick Arbuckle's into the game, 5-10 record, 7. Oh, that's last season. Never mind. Isaiah Smith rushes for 13 yards to the Saskatchewan 34-yard line. First down, Argos.
Yeah, the rookie doing a nice job reading his blocks, setting them up. Patience a big part of this. Don't outrun the big guys. See pursuit coming from the outside, outnumbered out there. Cuts it back in. Breaks the tackle with the sticks.
Arbuckle looks to throw for the first time, checks it down underneath. Smith makes the grab. Two Argonauts have a shot at it, and they do get back on top. Kevin Mittal alongside, as that Reimer that jumped on top as well from his right tackle position, getting the start here today.
Yeah. Ultimately, with a gain of yards, the Argos will take this one. I wasn't convinced necessarily Smith had control of this one, but seeing it there, he certainly did. Just wasn't sure if he was wobbling it before it came loose.
Arbuckle passes to Smith for 5 yards, fumbled by Isaiah Smith, recovered by Thurman. Ooh. Reimer recovered it. Okay, so they got the ball back at the 29-yard line. Or for 5 yards. Nick Arbuckle throws incomplete to Hirschlow, so it's 3rd and 5 at the Saskatchewan 29.
Used to some of those battles in practice a year ago.
22-15, 8:47 left in the third quarter. Leicester coming out for a 36-yard field goal. And it's missed. A missed field goal. So it's still 22-15, 8:34 left. So let's skip ahead.
The year's final Grand Slam begins tomorrow. I'm not talking about your favorite breakfast, 40. U.S. Open main draw gets underway at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Catch the action live on TSN.
I know you take your tennis seriously.
Well, I know that you would just be smashing a breakfast watching like the opening draw of the U.S. Open.
Yeah, I'll smash breakfast regardless of what's on TV, Marsh.
Not dependent upon the entertainment.
No.
Trevor Harris. First and 10 after the miss by Freddie Minster. Hands it off to Bertrand Houdon. Ralph Hawley.
Bertrand Houdon rushes for 0 yards to Saskatchewan 40.
Towards his own end zone.
To Iowa.
He thinks Ralph Hawley is
with the tackle, so it's 2nd and 10 at the Saskatchewan 40.
He talked about some of the best in recent history in the CFL, and Sean Lemon has.
Ralph Hawley has 3 sacks and 19 tackles this season.
Yeah. Did he say the smarts of Charleston Hughes? Like he was doing like a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah. The idea being Ralph Hawley is the total package. One of the best defensive tackles he's played with, he said. Reference Micah Johnson as well.
Harris passes to Duncan Busby for 30 yards to the Toronto 40. Caesar with the tackle. It's going to be a first down, Riders.
Sneaking downhill a little bit on that one. Let 18 run free.
Alex Sugar is back on the field, by the way, at his weak side linebacker spot. So after getting some attention from the training staff, Mike Miller's defense looks a little bit more like it did at the start of this game. But a 1st and 10 for the Roughriders as Trevor Harris, the savvy veteran, operates at the line of scrimmage. Tried to get him to go with the hard count. Harris hands it off. Bertrand Hudon gathering steam. And nearly a first down.
Bertrand Hudon rushes for 10 yards to the Saskatchewan 30. Tackled by Darius Pickett. It's going to be a first down, but there's a penalty on the play. Objectionable conduct, Jonathan Kongbo, 10 yards from the Toronto 30 to the 20.
Objectionable conduct, unnecessary contact with an official. Toronto number 95, 10-yard penalty.
Oh, because it was contact with an official.
You very rarely see Mike Miller upset like that. Was Kongbo trying to get a point across and maybe a little bit too forceful? Miller is hot here, Dwayne. I think maybe feeling that the momentum is starting to swing Saskatchewan's way and wake up his bench. Harris will try to take advantage. And off, Bertrand Hudon getting all the carries on this drive.
Bertrand Hudon rushes for 4 yards to the Toronto 16. Sly Whitco with the tackle.
Giving up some free yardage.
Yeah, a bit of a long-range view here, but you see Kongbo, 95 in the middle of your screen. Just stay with him as the official approaches, trying to say something, and it was just that swiping the official's hand away, which not egregious, but the fact is you can't touch the officials.
Former 5th overall pick by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in 2019. And the Tennessee volunteered some yardage, but now Harris with an open receiver inside the 10.
Harris to Johnson for 8 yards to the Toronto 8. McFadden with the tackle. It's going to be a first down, Riders.
Been some tough sledding for number 3 in green here today. Johnson coming out of the slot. Plenty of room, sits it down, don't run into the corner.
Keyshawn Johnson's already at 5 catches for 47 yards.
Tommy time on the other side.
First and goal at the 8. Thomas Stevens is in. Tommy Stevens rushes for 4 yards to the Toronto 4. Sly Whitco with the tackle. So it's 2nd and goal at the 4.
Get a look here. You'll see the fake to the running back who just continues through to become the lead blocker. It looked like Derek Sluka might have been the man who beat his block at the line of scrimmage to disrupt that one.
Matchup of the minds here with Mark Wheeler and Chris Quick as Stevens once again. A fake to run and trying to go right between the tackles, but it's a brick wall
Stevens rushes for 0 yards to the Toronto 4. Dark Angelo with the tackle.
It'll be interesting here to see.
4 minutes left in the third quarter.
Third down, it looks like the Saskatchewan Roughriders going back to the regular offense here.
Ooh, Saskatchewan's going to go for it.
Position, down by 7. I actually like the idea of going for it here instead of kicking from in this close.
Staying aggressive. Saskatchewan Roughriders MOs. Trevor Harris gets dialed in on 3rd and goal from the 3. Harris looks left, goes back right, whips it to the front line again.
Turnover on downs for the second time that a team's gone for it on 3rd down this game.
You can see this one. Trevor
Harris to Weeb is broken up by McFadden. Turnover on downs. So Toronto takes over at their 4-yard line.
Big moment in the ball game here. Corey Mace looking things over after a turnover on downs. And Dwayne, you said it when we went to break. You'd see he was in trouble very quickly here for Trevor Harris.
Yeah, if you keep an eye on Trevor Harris in the bottom left of your screen, you know, the feet looked a little nervous. You could just kind of tell this is not working out as planned. And if you had any doubt of if that was what the offensive coordinator wanted, then Argos confirmed.
Got Kelly back on the field after missing the end of that last drive. He had to sit out the 3.
Chad Kelly throws incomplete to Coxie, so it's going to be 2nd and 10 at the 4.
Came out on it, so Sales arguing perhaps that he thought Demonte Coxie should have been flagged for offensive pass interference in the battle here along the sideline.
Yeah, keep an eye on the matchup on the outside. Sales up close, balls coming this way, jump ball situation. Sales maybe feel like he was held back from that.
Kelly from his own end zone, incomplete hit again. 3 straight plays that Chad Kelly has taken a blow. And the Saskatchewan
Kelly pass incomplete to Common. Metal's the injured Argo on the field.
is down on the turf.
Yeah, Metal looked like he might have taken a finger to the eye there as he was in blocking. Here's a veteran, Mike Rose. Great hands on the pass rush there.
It's just an awkward one for Metal. Looks like Derek Roberson had his hands hooked up in the face mask. And Metal telling the training staff exactly what we just saw. All of you at home is Mike Miller. Glad to see his multi-threat, multi-platform receiver in Kevin Metal walk back to the sideline, but the noise is in here at Mosaic as they get set to kick this away from their own end zone. Burnett lights into it.
Burnett punts 66 yards to Saskatchewan 40. James Letcher Jr. returns it for 19 yards to the Toronto 51-yard line. So really, you only move up 47 yards. Can Harris continue the comeback?
7 in 5 games. His coaches literally calling him a quarterback magnet, a 3-time Grey Cup champion. He's been playing professional football since 2011. When I asked him about joining the Argos, coming in kind of mid-season as a veteran in this league, what are you telling guys as a leader? And he said, I just let my play do the talking when I come to a new squad.
And making sure, Britt, that he gets the longevity process correct. As he talked about plyo and swimming and cycling for cardio and anything you can imagine to try and extend his plyo.
Harris to Duncan Busby for 7 yards to the Toronto 44. Amos with the tackle.
Trying to earn the right to speak up, just said he did last week at halftime, and he knew he had to make a play in the second half.
See Sean Lemon coming off the edge here, but you know, are you with me that I was hoping if Sean Lemon came back this year that it would be with Hamilton, simply because it's the only team he has not been with. Close the loop his great career, exactly. Pull the Kevin Glenn.
Never say never. He'll keep playing as long as he feels like he can still get off that edge. I just love his starting stance. So unique, right? Digging in. You see him at the top of the line there. As Harris will hand it off, and coming around that corner can't get there, but the rest of the Argonauts.
Conley rushes for 1 yard to the Toronto 43. Slidewicko with the tackle. So it's 3rd and 2 at the Toronto 43.
To force a 3rd down decision for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Good battles between Jamarcus Hardrick and Sean Lemon over the years as well.
No doubt about that. You'll see at the end of this play, Hardrick knocks him down, then offers to help him up. Sean waves him off.
If you're at this point in your career and you've played someone that many times, do you even watch film?
Sean Lemon does.
Yeah, that's true. They'll go with a high sky punt, a couple of onside players as well. As it's live, Engineering Grant catches it and will turn the corner. The flag came out, but I think because the player was onside, they'll likely pick up the flag. We'll see as the replay center takes a look at things. But
Chapman punts 29 yards to the Toronto 14. Grant returns for 4 yards to 18 Sales with the tackle.
Saskatchewan number 31 was onside.
As expected, the onside player allowed to get inside of that 5-yard restricted zone. I think Mickey Donovan's probably just telling Engineering Grant, maybe just be aware of who's onside. Yes.
54 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
More so than the returner, Engineering Grant, but the rest of those blockers, quite frankly, that is the most dangerous guy. Let's get hands on.
Sweep here goes inside.
Chad Kelly passes to Hirschlow for 10 yards to the Toronto 28. Thurman with the tackle. It's going to be a 1st down Argos.
Snap from last season as he burst onto the scene. Nelson Lacombo right there.
Just always seems to be, I don't know if it's the effect of the hurdle play last year, and then the hurdle play when he got stood up in midair. An air of excitement every time Jake Hirschlow plays the ball.
Kelly throws it right to the Rider player, no one even around. Kelly passes incomplete or intercepted by Nelson Lacombo at the 49. Lacombo returns it for 30 yards to the Toronto 19, tackled by Hirschlow.
They've been playing the field corner move to safety this week with the injury to Jackson Ford. He gets the pick, play in center field here.
17th interception of the season for Chad Kelly. The Riders threatening.
And that's the end of the 3rd quarter. So we have 1 quarter left. No, we never got, our house was never flooded and we did not move upstairs. Fourth quarter.
It's been interesting to watch some of the dynamics of this football game.
That's number 17 interception for Kelly.
It feels like we're seeing Chad Kelly under an increasing amount of pressure as this game goes on. And perhaps that leading further from the spectacular throws and more to what you might call forced errors.
And the physicality of the Saskatchewan defense starting to get after it and rile up Chad Kelly, forcing some bad decisions as it looks like we have a challenge from Mike Miller, Argonauts head coach, and Andre Prue, our referee. We'll go to address it, but they've had the quarter break to look this thing over. Will they allow Toronto to challenge, coming back to action?
Just before the next play.
Is that the definition in the rule book?
Well, we'll find out. Yeah, so they are citing the time limit here. Just keep an eye on the receiver here, motioning down to the inside. I think the defender maybe thought he was going to block and grabbed on it. That seemed to be what they wanted to look at for illegal contact.
And Andre Prue has been doing laps back and forth from one sideline to the other, discussing things with Mike Miller. Now goes over and talks things through with Corey Mace.
Toronto coach wanted to challenge. He had a period of 30 seconds after the end of the play. By rule, he cannot challenge. He's going to be penalized for delay of game, 10-yard penalty. First down, Saskatchewan.
Ooh, interesting rule.
By way of statute of limitations.
So you can only challenge 30 seconds up until the end of the play, but because he tried to challenge it, it's a delay of game penalty, so up 10 yards.
Saskatchewan was already set up for success to begin the fourth and final quarter. Now they get
Interesting.
a couple of yards and we'll play first and 10. Already
First and 10 from the 19.
inside the 20. Again, we teased off the top of the fourth quarter. Can they capitalize? Had plenty of opportunities. Territory. The Argos granted. It is a tackle for loss. Sean Lemon. What were you saying about him watching film?
Yeah.
Harris pass to Weeb for
Sometimes you just
loss of 5 yards.
the right defense called at the right time. Sean Lemon on the left side of your screen.
That's what I'm looking for.
They're anticipating the defensive end is going to get
Actually, you know what? I don't even need that. So I can just grab another one.
He was lucky to hang on to that one.
Yeah.
Bobbling it, probably thinking that the defensive end was going to get a clean shot on him. Lemon got more than enough, but allows the Rough Riders to play on second and long. Harris comes twice to his right, comes back to the left. The receiver slowing down.
Harris pass to Mims for 18 yards to the Toronto 6. Dark Angelo with the tackle.
You're going to notice they get Sean Lemon taken care of on this one as well as the rest of that Argo defensive line.
So he did not sign for $18 million a year. It was like 20s. It was like 20 something a year for 8 years, and it was like $165 million a year, or $165 million over the years, I should say. And Harris passes to Keyshawn Johnson for 6 yards for a touchdown. Touchdown Riders. Do, 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 do. With this extra point, it could be a tied game. Put that up there for now.
Solid protection, great route, perfect timing.
There's 2.
6 points on the board. And a big one looms here for Alex Hale.
And the snap and the hold, that went wide. So Toronto's still up by 1. What is going on with special teams in this game?
Here tonight in Saskatchewan. 3 plays, 19 yards in just a minute 43. Keyshawn Johnson has yet another touchdown. Now 7 of the 11 Rough Riders games. He has a major.
Okay, so let's skip up. We're at the 13-17 minute mark.
This is the 5th time for Chad Kelly this season in a game that he's had at least 2 interceptions. That's the combo. Gets that one, and then the offense makes quick work of it. That's Trevor Harris working his eyes over the middle with Sean Mims, and then the major, Keyshawn Johnson.
Yeah, Trevor Harris looking a little more like Trevor Harris here in the fourth quarter of this football game in terms of that accuracy and efficiency.
Country Road. to the place where I belong, West Virginia. La, 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 la. Take me home, country road. Hale kicks off 52 yards to the 28-yard line. Herschel returns for 13 yards to the Toronto 41. Axime with the tackle.
Yeah, the Saskatchewan Roughriders certainly.
Toronto has not scored a single point in the second half, and Riders are up +9 in the second half, as Riders have scored 9 points. So Toronto leads by 1 with 12:48 left on their 41-yard line. Jones rushes for 1 yard gain to the Toronto 42-yard line. Next one is February. Kelly passes to Jones for 8 yards to the Toronto 50. Woods with the tackle.
Share that backfield a little bit, but he becomes an outlet for Chad Kelly on this one. Chips off the defensive end before releasing into the pattern.
Toronto's coming on to punt the ball. Burnett punts for 60 yards to the end zone. Letcher returns it for 16 to the 16-yard line. But there's a holding on Saskatchewan, so it comes back to the 2-yard line. Skip we go.
Now I know this because their daughter Laura in the middle happens to be my neighbor in Mississauga, Ontario. But she grew up here in Saskatchewan, diehard Roughriders fan.
Harris throws incomplete to Keyshawn Johnson at the 22-yard line, so it's 2nd and 10 at the 2.
Often while walking my dog, there will be a CFL conversation, usually centering around the team in green. Laura and her husband, Alan Schaubel, their son Brock, by the way, a football player. Pains me to say that at Queens will be making his first appearance on the dress roster tomorrow against U of T as U Sports football action gets underway.
Here, Mac might be doing okay against Windsor right now. That's the rumor. Trevor Harris goes to work after the incompletion. 2nd and 10. And from his own end zone, the route on the turf. Who's on it? Did Sean Lemon knock it away? They dig at the bottom of the pile.
Bodies.
And it's a safety for Toronto.
It looks like Saskatchewan recovers, but we have a safety.
Yeah, Harris, I think, got back on top of it somehow at the bottom of that mess. But down in the end zone, and so a 3-point ball game.
Yeah, it looked like Sean Lemon on his way, already on the ground, reached up and got a hand on that football.
And this is.
But watch Lemon on the left side. He's on his way down and manages to get the strip. Trevor Harris desperately trying to grab the ball.
Toronto's first point of this second half. Up by 3, 10:21 left.
As we have talked about.
No defensive player in football, in my opinion, impacts games more than a pass rusher. A good pass rusher. And you just think, Sean Lemon was sitting at home. In a league that needs pass rushers. But stayed in touch with Jim Barker, stayed in touch with Greg Quick. Kept himself in shape. Andrew Chatfield went down. Argos needed some help on that D-line. They've lost a couple more bodies. Canadians, Jeremiah Ojo, Paris Shand as well. And Sean Lemon has stepped in, and I have a feeling he has given this Toronto team...
Saskatchewan's kicking it off. Hale kicks it off for 69 yards to Toronto. Herschel returns it for 35 yards to the Saskatchewan 54. It's a penalty for illegal interference on the cover. It's declined.
There's 3 points separating these two. Again, it was a 6-point difference. Toronto taking the victory here at Mosaic.
Chad Kelly comes back out on the field.
Amazing that Trevor Harris was able to get that football back too, because that could have easily been a touchdown, but also had some shades of Drew Brees at the end of his time in San Diego.
Yeah. Just awaiting the announcement on the penalty here.
During the return, illegal interference. Saskatchewan number 47. That penalty is declined. First down.
A pretty good field position here for the Toronto Argonauts.
We see Aubrey Miller Jr. displeased with the call as we roll inside the final 10 minutes of the fourth quarter. Chad Kelly just on Saskatchewan's side of the field. Trying to set the backside screen to Isaiah Smith. He's got a blocker out.
Chad Kelly throws to Isaiah Smith for 11 yards to Saskatchewan 43. However, Toronto gets a penalty for holding, so they go from the 54 to the Toronto 46.
Perhaps a little illegal.
Yards being gained, holding. Toronto number 86, 10-yard penalty. Will replay first down.
Take a look at the backfield action here as Isaiah Smith gets it behind his O-line. Bounces it to the outside. You saw Coxie on the edge. Long time to sort of sustain a block in space against the athletic defender. You can see where the ball is.
First and 20. Kelly passes to Mittal for 0 yards to the Toronto 46. Second and 20 for the Argos.
How aggressive do you want to be in this down distance situation? Well, it is Chad Kelly.
You never know. Discretion key here, right? We talked about situational stuff in football. The situation's a little different here.
Kelly passes to Jones for 11 yards to Saskatchewan 53. Woods with the tackle, but there will be 3rd and 9.
Involved in that tackle as he was questionable to return earlier on after being helped off by the training staff. That's tremendous.
Argos helped themselves a little bit with that one in terms of some field position. Perhaps a chance to hit Saskatchewan deep, but James Letcher looks like he's starting to find his stride a little bit here too in the return game for the Riders.
I guess if your punter has boots of 66 and 60 yards tonight, why not let him hammer another one?
Burnett punts 45 yards to Saskatchewan 8. Letcher Jr. returns for 5 yards to Saskatchewan 13. Pickett with the tackle.
Sideline and the pretty prairie skies paint the picture for us here with 8:21 remaining.
8:21 left in the first quarter, or fourth quarter, I should say.
Perfect football player and just caught the numbers and situation thing in Hamilton. We'll take a closer look at his feet here.
Just kind of skipped too much ahead. First and 10. Harris passes to Bridges for 6 yards, Saskatchewan 19. Second and 4.
Got the numbers and situation thing in Hamilton. We'll take a closer look at his feet here. Not so much.
That left foot didn't get down. The right foot.
I think the right was off the ground.
Yeah. And they'll go back to work regardless. Back shoulder, Keyshawn Johnson.
Harris passes to Keyshawn Johnson for 37 yards to the Toronto 54. Caesar with the tackle. It's going to be a first down, Riders.
One of the things that stands out with great receivers is the call when they're making adjustments to the football in the air.
Good morning, Mr. Phil. Just watching the tail end of the Argo game yesterday since I never watched the Argo game last night.
And just very calmly pull this one in and move my team half the field.
11 targets on the day. That one goes for 37 yards. Harris looks to his right.
Harris passes to Keyshawn Johnson again for 38 yards to the Toronto 16. McFadden with the tackle. It's almost like 80 yards in 2 plays. Just to Keyshawn Johnson.
Keep an eye on the safety, Bubba Bolden here. Gets over here as Trevor Harris completes the pass. And it looked like maybe like Bubba Bolden is attacking the football. Took an angle to the inside there. Left him out of position to make the tackle. Keyshawn Johnson knifes to the outside.
Now 8 catches for KJ. Will they go back to him again? And a major earlier. It's underneath Daniel Weed. Horizontal Isaac D'Arcangelo there to finish him off.
Harris passes to Weed for 3 yards to the Toronto 13. D'Arcangelo with the tackle.
Trevor Harris with a quick stretch.
Second and 5 from Toronto 12.
Looking deeper, checking it down underneath. Argos had things covered up.
Yes, I do agree that we definitely 100% need to beat Toronto on Labor Day.
The wind swirling like crazy here at Mosaic. Gus popping in.
Second and 7 on the Toronto 13.
Empty it out for Trevor Harris. Somehow Johnson held on to it for his knife.
Harris passed Johnson for 6 yards to the 7. Caesar with the tackle, so it's 3rd and 1.
It's going to be a 3rd down with, looks like maybe just under a yard. Riders obviously very confident in their short yardage unit as they have visions of taking the lead on this possession.
Johnson, all of the energy and effort on this.
Now. Let's do one game at a time. Stevens rushes for 3 yards to the Toronto 4-yard line. Bell with the tackle.
Bodies around him continue to get it done. Good movement there from that Saskatchewan O-line.
Keyshawn Johnson played only 2 games this year where he's had more catches. Home against the Ottawa Redblacks in August and home against the Toronto Argonauts. Let's see if they go back to him here. Looking for a major. Harris feeds it up in the air. Misses this one.
visions. You think back to the Del Duncan Busby touchdown in the first half. Sailed one to the other side that looked very
Harris throws
similar.
incomplete to Mims.
We'll see if the follow-up is the same for Trevor Harris.
I mean, it would be nice, but never know. Depends on what Hamilton shows up.
Corey Mace watches on as his team. They were 6-2, back-to-back losses to the Tiger Cats and the BC Lions. Here at home, trying to get back in the win column and avoid losing 3 straight. Trailing by 3. Harris fades it up and looking for Del Duncan Busby. Incomplete, plenty of contact, but great coverage of Darius Pickett.
Harris passes to Duncan Busby, and Saskatchewan's challenging for defensive pass interference.
Looking back to that left side of the end zone. Double moved and Pickett and beat him. Got the body in front of him, but I wonder if that initial contact with the hands might be enough to draw a flag. Take a look.
Saskatchewan is challenging the previous play for defensive pass interference on their receiver number 18. The play will be reviewed.
I wonder, Dwayne, whether they'll look at the first part of this, the original bump, or the carrying into the end zone.
Yeah, and I feel a little bit like it's going to be the original bump. Again, we're looking at the inside receiver. After the initial bump, Pickett kind of gets his body in front and maintains his position.
So I'm doing that game at. So I have the Queens Toronto game at 7, but I will be streaming the BC Lions game after that. Just because BC Ottawa is at the same time as Queens and Toronto. But yes, I will be live streaming that one later on tonight. Play on the field stands.
Incomplete pass. Saskatchewan has no more challenge, and they're charged 1 timeout.
No more challenges, and Saskatchewan has 1 timeout.
Tossing the red challenge flag away.
Yeah, and a reasonable challenge for given the situation for Corey Mace to take, even if you're very on the fence about which way it's going to go. I do think it's the right call.
And Saskatchewan's coming out. Ooh, offside on McFadden. Plot twist.
Defensive offside. Toronto number 2. Half the distance to the goal, and it will be a first down.
The very right edge of your screen.
Ooh. So they go from only giving up 3 to a first down and a possible 6. First and goal from the 1.
Think back as well about special teams miscues, right? The blocked extra point that goes back for 2. And now you have the Argos that jump. And we hit the 3-minute warning.
3-minute warning.
And what a big moment this is. Entertaining game between.
And we skip ahead.
Into Labor Day, if the Roughriders lose this, you're looking at a 6-5 matchup here in the Prairies going into Labor Day.
As if that rivalry wasn't already heated enough.
Short yardage packages in after the hard counter to Mars McFadden. It's a fresh set of downs. Tommy Stevens plunges.
And Tommy Stevens gets a touchdown. Touchdown. To be honest, I have no idea.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders pull out the hard count on the field goal to keep the drive alive, allowing Tommy Stevens to punch it in.
Started this game off by talking about how they were the kings of the CFL in 2025. There's been lots of turnovers. You see Harris and Stevens celebrating on the sidelines. Hale now going for the extra point to make this,
Another critical one.
a 4-point game. Confidence wavering, wind blowing, and he's got it.
And he gets it, so it's 28-24.
But Alex Hale squeaked it inside the upright to conclude a 10-play, 97-yard drive at 5:20.
28-24. Do.
And here's the drive that gives the Saskatchewan Roughriders the lead. River Harris finding Shamar Bridges along the sideline. Keyshawn Johnson on the deep ball, moving it into Argo territory. Johnson with another big play to send them up in close. Daniel Reed on the check down. Extends the drive. Tommy Stevens gives the Saskatchewan Roughriders the lead. And big extra point from Alex Hale means the Toronto Argonauts can't tie it up with a field goal.
There's a bit of an air of inevitability.
So 2:57 left in the fourth quarter. Toronto's down by 4. They need a touchdown
And now they're in the lead.
to win.
We just saw, we could pick 10 different moments. All the way back to the second quarter. Heck, first if you want, about scores flipping and field position changing.
When you talk about the twists and turns, you think about the day of Tavares McFadden, who has had a ton of knockdowns today. And unfortunately, what people are going to remember is the offside.
The wind, again, in the face. Felt some raindrops coming down a second ago as well as the darkening skies around Mosaic threatening, but the lights are on. It's a 4-point ball game.
Hale kicks off for 70 yards to the Toronto 10. Grant returns it for 19 yards to the Toronto 29. Roberson with the tackle.
Making plays, and on the tackle there, bunch of knockdowns in this ball game. Doing a terrific job from his field corner position. A couple drives back.
And then McFadden gets that stupid penalty on third down. And then costs his team an extra 3 points, which would have only tied the game. Kelly throws the common for 8 yards to Toronto 37.
He might have had a very memorable closing stages victory.
Yes. Making a great appearance here.
Argonauts go quickly. Kelly keeps it slant.
Kelly throws incomplete. Kind of feels like he rushed that pass.
Burgess Jr. had the interception early on.
Kelly throws to Unger the third, incomplete by Burgess.
Yeah, trying to hit the outside receiver on that quick slant, trying to get position. Burgess coming
Do
from
do
the
do
outside.
do 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 do.
Make that play.
It's a great point 'cause if you miss, that thing's out.
Oh, it's right here. Never mind, it's
Great. Now
right
how
here.
they handle the wind. Good high spiraling move. As Saskatchewan's defense does the job. James Lesser Jr. trying to get some breathing room and runs into a host of tacklers. About a 65-yard return of this. Lesser Jr.
Okay.
climbs over the bottom of the pile, and now Trevor Harris will try to manage.
Burnham punts for 66 yards to the Saskatchewan 7. Letcher Jr. with the tackle. Or Letcher Jr. returns for 17 yards to the 21st. Slide Whitco with the tackle is what I meant.
Balance between explosive Toronto Argonauts attack an opportunity to win this one. They want to win with the ball in their hands. And no surprise, Tommy Stevens in the role of Mariano.
Thomas Stevens is now in with 2:28 left. Tommy Stevens rushes for 6 yards to the Saskatchewan 30. Bertrand Houdon is the injured rider on the play. I'm pretty sure, Phil, they're doing it tonight. I just won't be on there because I'll be doing live streams all day. But I'm pretty sure they're doing it tonight, if I'm not mistaken. They haven't said anything in the group chat. But it was Jacob's birthday yesterday, so that's why they didn't do any live streams or any post games yesterday.
Important here as well that one of the more physical blocking backs who's been leading Tommy Stevens through on so many of these inside running plays is Thomas Bertrand, who not only when the training staff comes to see him, he's out for at least 3 plays. So if they pick up the first down here, he'll have to be out for at least 3.
They have to send you the link. You would have to get them to. You'd have to ask them for the link, like to appear on it, or just to be like this. If you want to appear on it, they have to send you the link. If you want to be in the chat, you just got to join them during their live stream. Harris passes Keyshawn Johnson for 12 yards to the Saskatchewan 42. Toronto is challenging the play on the field for pass completion. Oh yeah, they would have to send you the link for it. Just wait till they go live, and then you can ask them.
Toronto is challenging the previous play to believe the pass was incomplete. The play will be reviewed.
You'll see Johnson coming out of the slot here as he catches the ball because the defender is on him and kind of pulling his arms. There's that moment as he goes down to the turf. Does he actually use the turf to secure possession of this football? Or does he get the hand wrapped underneath? Now, bear in mind, it's initially called a catch. You can see his hands are on it there. I feel like when he goes to the turf, he's got it pretty firmly squeezed between his hands, even though the bottom of the ball touches down. But the look on your face, Marshall, suggests a different take on it.
I'm with you, but this is just one of those interesting ones where you squeeze it, you go to the ground, it turns sideways, but your hands also move with it. Well, you decide at home.
Yeah, and I mean, got to bear in mind, too, slow motion replay, how secure was the ball?
Andre Crew has the call.
Ruling in the field stands.
Toronto loses.
Is out of challenge, and they lost their timeout.
With both hands on it and possession through the ground.
Yeah, that's going to be your interpretation, is that he had, but you can see his hands squeezing the ball from each side. He's got control of the ball there. It just happens to be that the bottom of the ball is exposed to the field as he goes down. He didn't use the ground to secure it.
Still work to be done as Stevens.
Wow. Steven rushes for 41 yards to the Toronto 27. Caesar with the tackle, but there's holding Weeb on Saskatchewan, so it comes back 10 yards to the Saskatchewan 32.
I suspect this will be after the first down is gained, which is the biggest part of this for the Saskatchewan
4
Roughriders.
yards were gained, holding Saskatchewan number 87. A 10-yard penalty will replay first down.
The receiver, Daniel Weed, charged with the hold. Seen as part of what helps bring Tommy Stevens here. We'll keep an eye out on the perimeter. Maybe downfield at the bottom of your screen as you see an Argo defender taken to the ground. The thing is,
not really, because one of two reasons. So if you really think about it, Lane, let me take a look here. Because ultimately, so if we win Labor Day, we have the tiebreaker versus Toronto. Yeah, we're behind. So we just need to either be ahead of Toronto in the standings, which if we win on Labor Day, we would be tied. But also, we just need the same record or greater than the fourth West team. So it's not possible that we miss the playoffs. They would just have to start winning games. To answer your question. Conley rushes for 21 yards to Saskatchewan 53. Tubner with the tackle.
Big second down here for Greg Quick at the Toronto Argonauts defense.
So after this game, we are doing the Guelph and Laurier game from yesterday, as it's on OUA.tv. But I will be going for a bite to eat before we start that game. Go back and watch some lovely OUA games, which, if you haven't watched any, you're missing some good football.
So the clock will burn, and they will punt it away. And Chad Kelly and the Argonauts offense is much of anything with which to work, but never say never.
So if you think about it, when's our bye week? Our bye week is, let me zoom out for a second. Our bye week, I think, is after Labor Day. Yeah, so this day here is when everyone catches up to us on the 15th. So we have Montreal, Edmonton, and then we have back games against Ottawa, which basically are wins there. I would say we would have to go for, what do we have left? We have what? 8 games left? Oops. That's not what I want. We have what? 8 games left? 6 games left. So we would have to go maybe 4-2 in our next 6. If I had to guess. Illegal kick out of bounds for Chapman, so they move up 10 yards. 19 seconds left.
Illegal kick out of bounds. Saskatchewan 91. 10-yard penalty will be enforced for where the ball went out of bounds. And a first down.
The ball out of bounds in the middle of the field, essentially. Before that 15-yard line was going to help the Argos out with a 10-yard boost.
Kelly throws to Common for 12 yards for a first down. So we play Toronto, then we have a bye, Montreal, Edmonton. Hold on, let me look at it again. So we have Toronto bye week, Montreal, Edmonton, Ottawa. Oh, sorry, bye, then Ottawa. No, Phil, he is saying that Labor Day is a must win. Is there any chance that ha 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 ha. So Roughriders went. See, Roughriders did us a favor last night and beat Toronto, which helps us. So I'm gonna go get a bite to eat, and then I'll be back, and I will do the Guelph Laurier game from yesterday. But I do appreciate everyone for stopping by, and have yourself a great rest of your day.